What's up, guys? Pro Noobs here from Server 37, and today we are going deep into one of the most powerful factions in Last Z, survival shooter The Wings of Dawn. If you have been sleeping on this faction, by the end of this video, you are going to want to build it. And if you are already running Wings of Dawn, this guide is going to help you understand exactly who to prioritize, who to skip, and how to max out your shooter lineup no matter what season you are in. Now, before we jump in, I want to be clear this is not going to be a quick 5-second tier list. We are going to break down every single hero in this faction, their skills, their synergies, and then I'm going to give you my top 5 picks with full reasoning. We're also going to talk about season by season recommendations because not everyone has access to the same heroes, and that matters a lot when it comes to building efficiently. And at the very end, we are going to talk faction counters because knowing your weaknesses is just as important as knowing your strengths. So grab a coffee, hit that like button now before you forget, and let's get into it. The Wings of Dawn faction, what makes it special? Before we talk individual heroes, you need to understand why this faction is worth building. Wings of Dawn is a pure shooter based faction. Every hero in this faction either boosts shooter stats directly, buffs your training, supports your research, or scales through faction synergy. The more Wings of Dawn heroes you stack in your lineup, the stronger the passive bonuses get. Scarlett, who we will talk about in a second, gives you 80k and def increases per each Wings of Dawn hero you deploy. So, stacking 5 Wings of Dawn heroes does not just activate one bonus, it stacks multiple bonuses on top of each other. That compounding effect is what makes this faction dangerous when built correctly. Also worth noting, this faction is a hard counter to assaulters, and with the right comp, you can shred through enemy infantry builds. But it does have a weakness specifically to Blood Rose faction, and it is going to get countered by Guard of Honor later in the game. We will come back to that at the end. Now, let's meet the heroes. Hero has owned Scarlet. The faction engine Scarlet is your season 1 shooter hero, and she is the backbone of the entire Wings of Dawn faction system. Her exclusive talent, Potential Unleashed, gives every Wings of Dawn hero you deploy a 5% ATK and DEF increase. That means if you deploy all 5 Wings of Dawn heroes, that alone is a 25% ATK and DEF stack just from Scarlet's passive. And if you manage to field all 5, you also get a 10% bonus to your troop capacity. That is massive. Her global skill, Power of Dominance, is a pure shooter training buff. You get 20% training speed, 10% shooter def, 10% shooter ATK, and a 5% reduction in training resource consumption. If you are in the early to mid game and you are grinding out your shooter troops, Scarlet being on your base means your shooters are being trained faster and cheaper. She is a background power generator even when she is not on the battlefield. Her active skill, EM Pulse, starts with a 600 damage factor and goes up to 641 when leveled. It fires a powerful energy pulse forward that splits and multiplies as you upgrade it. You eventually get multiple pulses flying out at once. Her normal attack, Shadow Assault, brings her damage factor up to 300 base, scaling with upgrades and topping out with massive bonus damage factor additions. Now, she is a Season 1 hero, so she is not the flashiest damage dealer on the roster, but as a faction activator and a training support hero, she is irreplaceable. Hero Hash 2 Laura, the Begner's Radar Queen Laura, is also available to Begner players, and she is honestly a solid utility pick. Her exclusive talent gives her a straightforward 10% ATK, 10% DEF, and 5% troop capacity boost to herself. Simple and clean. Her global skill, Hunter's Gift, is what makes her shine outside of combat. You get 10 free radar events every single day, upgraded further to 15 with skill nodes and EXP yields from radar missions go up by over 20%. You also unlock extra exploration chests from clearing radar events up to 10 per day. If you are a player who does radar events every day, and you should be, Laura is literally giving you free EXP and resources daily. Her active arrow shower starts at 750 damage factor, scales to 791, and adds a burn effect on explosion plus a wider damage range at higher levels. Her normal attack, Hunter's Instinct, gives her a 480 base damage factor going up to 500 with level upgrades. Laura is a great hero for new players and solid filler for the faction bonus, but she is a support tier pick when compared to the seasonal powerhouses we will meet later. Hero Hash 3 Amelia, the research beast Amelia, is the scientist of the faction, and if you are a builder focused player, she is one of the most valuable heroes in the entire roster, regardless of faction. Her exclusive talent gives the same base self buff as Laura, 10% ATK, 10% DEF, 5% troop capacity, nothing groundbreaking there. But her global skill, Scientist, is where she absolutely shines. Amelia gives you 90 extra minutes of free research time. Research speed goes up to nearly 30%, and she cuts the basic resource cost of research by 15% total with full upgrades. If you are someone who is constantly trying to rush tech upgrades, Amelia pays for herself every single day. Her active skill, Precision Blast, marks three random targets and detonates explosive damage on them and nearby enemies. Damage factor starts at 900 and scales to 941, and with full upgrades, it doubles the number of marks. Her normal attack, Assassin Focus, starts at a 570 damage factor, one of the highest among the early heroes, and climbs to 590. Amelia is a great beginner pick. She helps you grow faster through research speed, and she holds her own in combat. But once you get into the higher season heroes, she transitions more into a background utility role. Hero Hash for Nyx, the always on shooter buffer now. Things start to get serious. Nyx is a season 1 hero, but she operates completely differently from Scarlett and Laura. Her exclusive talent, Potential Unleashed, gives all shooter units a flat 10% damage increase. And here is the key part, it does not matter whether Nyx is deployed or not. She is sitting in your base, and every single one of your shooter units is hitting 10% harder. Always. That passive alone earns her a permanent slot in most top tier rosters. Her passive skill, Mind Control, adds up to 15% shooter DEF for the troops she leads. And as you upgrade the nodes, you stack shooter ATK bonuses 5%, 5%, 10%, 10%, 15%, totaling up to 45% shooter ATK in her troop lead. That is absurd for a season 1 hero. Her active spirit doll controls self destructing puppets that hunt down enemies. You start with 4 puppets at a 900 damage factor, and with upgrades, you go to 7 puppets with significantly higher total damage output. Witchcraft Attack, her normal skill, gives her the highest normal attack damage factor among the early heroes at 1083, scaling to 1103 and climbing with every upgrade tier. Nyx is a must have. Whether you are running a full Wings of Dawn team or a mixed shooter build, her passive alone justifies keeping her leveled. Hero Hash 5 Alma, the Season 2 cornerstone Alma, is where the faction starts hitting a completely different power tier. She is a Season 2 hero, and her kit is built around synergy, sustain, and raw damage. Her exclusive talent, Eternal Golden Rule, activates when you field 5 Wings of Dawn heroes, and it adds 10% HP to your entire troop. Combined with Scarlett's ATK and DEF bonuses also triggering at 5 heroes, running a full faction lineup means your troops are simultaneously tougher, harder hitting, and larger in capacity. This is why Wings of Dawn rewards commitment. Her passive skill, Serpent Sentence, gives shooter units in her troop led 15% HP on top of a staggering 25% total. shooter DMG from upgrading all 5 damage nodes. She is your tanks and damage hybrid passive. Her active power of devour calls in serpents to bite and poison enemies. Base damage factor is 2400, nearly triple what you saw from Nyx. And with full upgrades, you add multiple extra serpents to the attack. Her normal attack, Gilded Barrage, gives her a 1500 damage factor. Alma is not just a strong hero, she is the anchor of the faction's two strongest synergies. She pairs with Scarlett to stack faction bonuses, and she unlocks a critical synergy with the next hero we are going to talk about. Hero has 6 Queenie. The Season 4 main DPS Queenie is the crown jewel of Wings of Dawn, and if you are a Season 4 player, she should be your top priority. Her exclusive talent, Crimson Dominion, is absolutely unique. It takes her personal all in assault passive and applies it to every Wings of Dawn hero in the troop. That means every hero benefits from the skill damage boost, not just Queenie herself. All in Assault stacks skill damage up to 24%, and since it applies to the whole troop through Crimson Dominion, your entire Wings of Dawn lineup is hitting harder with their actives. On top of that, Crimson Dominion gives your troop 10% bonus damage against assaulter units and 10% damage reduction from rider units. Her active Firefall goes off with a damage factor of 3200, and she builds up ammo count with upgrades. So she fires multiple rounds. Her normal attack, Raven Reigns, has a damage factor of 2010, one of the highest in the entire faction. Queenie is the reason you build Wings of Dawn in Season 4. She turns a good faction into a dominant one. Hero #7 Liliana. The Season 3 support powerhouse Liliana might not be the loudest name on this roster, but do not sleep on her. She is a Season 3 hero, and her exclusive talent, Siren Scales, has one of the best conditional bonuses in the faction. When deployed alongside Alma, which you should always be doing, all shooter units in the troop gain a 7.5% damage resistance bonus. At star 5, that bonus extends to all unit types and adds an extra 7.5% troop capacity boost. That is a significant defensive layer on top of everything the faction already brings. Her passive Undead Legion is pure bulk. She adds 90 troop capacity directly, one of the few heroes in the game who gives raw capacity through a passive skill and stacks up to 20% ATK and DEF for herself through upgrade nodes. Her active Abyss Blast hits with a 3200 damage factor, same as Queenie, and knocks enemies back. Her normal attack, Fury Surge, hits at 2010 damage factor. Liliana is the perfect pair to Alma. She adds survivability, capacity, and her own high damage kit to the mix. Top 5 Wings of Dawn heroes, pro, noobs, picks all right. So now that you know every hero in the faction, let me give you my definitive top 5 and exactly why they make the cut. Number 5, Scarlett. She is the faction synergy engine. Her per hero ATK and def stacking is what unlocks the full power of a Wings of Dawn lineup. You always want her in your team of 5 just for the faction math alone. She also keeps your shooter training running efficiently in the background. Number 4, Nyx. The always on 10% shooter damage passive is a permanent free buff that scales with every shooter troop you ever send out. Even if you never deploy her in battle, she is making you stronger every single second. Plus, her active and normal attack damage factors are the highest of the early heroes. Number 3, Alma. The Season 2 anchor, 2400 base damage on her active 25% total shooter, DMG stacking 15% shooter HP, and she is the key that unlocks Liliana's synergy. If you do not have Alma leveled, you are leaving a massive amount of power on the table. Number 2, Liliana. Paired with Alma, she brings 7.5% damage resistance, up to 7.5% troop capacity at star 5, 90 raw troop capacity, and 3200 active damage factor. She turns the Alma slot from a single hero into a two-hero power duo. The Alma Liliana combo is the backbone of the top end Wings of Dawn comp. Number 1, Queenie. She is the reason you play the faction at season 4. Spreading her all in assault to the whole troop, hitting 3200 on her active, dealing bonus damage to assaulters and reducing incoming rider damage. Queenie is the hero this faction was built around. Stack everything around her and watch your power rating climb. Season wise hero recommendations. Now, I know not everyone is in the same season, so let me give you a quick breakdown of who to focus on based on where you are right now. If you are in season 1, your core is Scarlett and Nyx. These are your must build heroes. Fill out your 5 hero faction bonus with your strongest purple heroes that complement the shooter's stat line. Even without the S2, S3, and S4 heroes, Nyx is always on passive, combined with Scarlet's faction stacking, gives you a solid foundation. Laura and Amelia can fill your remaining slots and still contribute their utility passives. If you are in season 2, add Alma immediately. She is a game changer and activates the 5 hero faction bonus with real firepower behind it. Your go to lineup becomes Scarlett, Nyx, Alma, and 2 others, Amelia and Laura, work fine as filler. If you are in season 3, bring Liliana in and pair her with Alma. Your core 5 is now Scarlett, Nyx, Alma, Liliana, and 1 flex slot. The factions, synergy, and durability jump significantly with Liliana in the mix. If you are in season 4, Queenie slots in as your lead DPS. Your optimal team is Queenie, Alma, Liliana, Nyx, and Scarlet. This is the maximum power Wings of Dawn comp that activates every major faction bonus in the roster. Thoughts Wings of Dawn is one of the most complete shooter factions in Last Z right now. It has early game heroes who support your growth, mid game heroes who carry your combat, and late game heroes who turn your lineup into a wrecking machine. Build Scarlet and Nyx first. Lock in Alma the moment you hit season 2. Bring in Liliana at season 3 and make Queenie your season 4 priority. Stack the faction, activate the synergies, and dominate the battlefield. That is going to be it for today's Wings of Dawn breakdown. If this helped you out, smash that like button and subscribe because we drop guides like this every week here on Pro Noobs. I am repping server 37 as always. If you are on S37, come say hi. Drop your current season and your lineup in the comments below. I read every single one. See you in the next one.